Okay, we are back, everybody. After a little bit of an issue, we are back. We are currently again streaming Heat number 2. This is game 3. Joining me now is former Endor Grand Prix champion and master
Oh,
of
stop.
map, Lenny Rubin. How you doing, Lenny?
I'm doing okay. Just trying to deal with the whole lockdown situation and the whole GAMP refresh situation, and there's just a lot of situations.
Oh yeah.
And so what do we got here?
So it looks like it's Hunt Down V versus No Idea.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I mean this is gonna be. I mean this is essentially Connor's bread and butter. So um, he starts his your typical standard your start. Uh, his opponent, it looks like he's going with an Imperial Enforcement build. So he's got yeah, he's going with the Imperial Enforcement. So he's gonna I have all Imperials. So um
Yep. And what I think that seems, knowing not really knowing much about the deck yet, because it hasn't been out that long and I haven't been playing a whole lot, but
mhm.
that seems good with Hunt Down V, just because that limits you to what, just Imperials and Bounty Hunters.
Imperial and droids.
So,
Well, no, not even bounty hunters. You can't. It's just in straight
okay,
Imperials. So
yeah,
I don't know how I like that because you limit yourself. You really do. So I mean, don't
well,
get me wrong. The redraw is nice, but you're drawing high destinies to start. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly not as like of as much of like an automatic thing as it would be in like IE or ISB, but it's still like, well, okay, instead of giving up. Normally, when you want to play enforcement, you're thinking of like, oh, I've got to give up Maul, and I've got to give up
hmm
Sidious, and I've got to give up like all these other really good cards. And with this, it's just like, okay, I'm giving up Boba Fett and Dengar, and
yeah.
maybe Probot or P-59 or something. But like
Well, plus R
for the
saying.
benefits that enforcement gets you, I think it's a really interesting play.
I mean, I get it. Like I know a lot of people have said it's I've taught like Drew who helped me out a couple of games today. Him and I have
Mhm.
actually talked about it. I agree with him that you limit yourself to a little too much on that. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, giving yourself the ability to cause the redraws are nice, but your Inquisitors are such high
You don't
destinies.
necessarily
So
you don't necessarily need the redraws in Hunt Down, and
mhm. And if
it's
you
going to get suspended a lot because how many battlegrounds can you really cover? Like, there are definitely
exactly
drawbacks to it.
now, so what it comes down to is like the way I'm looking at it is why if you're gonna do that, you just really want to draw like your Vaders, or you
Yeah.
just want to redraw those. So I mean, play a Sith Fury. Yeah, I believe me, Bill. I get the fact of the retrieval and everything, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I just really like having three starting effects that all have pictures of Darth Vader on them. I think that's really clean.
it's a good point. I'll give you that. That
Well,
is a good point.
I guess the Dark Path would also accomplish that, except that's his gross head.
Well, I mean, there's other ones, right?
Yeah, no, there are plenty.
I mean,
And when it's flipped, the objective has Vader on it too, and it's just four pictures of Darth Vader right in a row.
well, I mean, plus your starting effects, so
That's true. That sort of counts.
sort of. I mean, actually, your opponent has a picture of Darth Vader too, so there's
Yeah.
five right there.
So he pulled him in Mustafar on turn one and just immediately
Interesting that he goes.
teleported him over to the
Yeah, he goes
Malachor
to
site.
Malachor. So I don't know. Like, it seems a little. The only problem with that is now you can't. If you're playing the other Malachor site, you can't pull it.
Oh, that's true. You can only pull on the 0 side.
Hmm. So I think the better thing to do
Yeah.
is, especially because you have the retrieval with the enforcement, maybe just leave Vader at his castle so that way you can respond to where your opponent does. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you're
And
threatening a drain of 3 right now, but uh, you know what, Bill? Actually, a lot of people are playing the second site. I think in most of the games that I saw today, you see a lot of those. Okay, so I mean, Connor's gonna yeah, it would be a drain of 3, but Connor's gonna get the projection of Skywalker to now reduce it by 1.
okay.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I think I agree with you that it's maybe like if you leave him at the castle turn 1, you see what they do on their first turn, and then you can
hmm,
respond to that. So like maybe they pull the
yeah,
beach,
you can
and then
send him
like
to
you
the
can
beach.
just teleport him to the beach, and then
Yeah.
you probably don't want to put him at the data vault because he has no immunity there.
Hmm.
Like if they pull the beach, you can go to the beach. Who doesn't like to go to the beach?
Uh, well, right now Californians,
Don't answer.
Californians right now.
Right?
Florida,
Yeah.
Florida man loves to go to the beach.
Florida man lives at the beach.
You know what? I will say this: like for me, I lived in Hawaii for 3 years. I didn't go to the beach as much as I would have liked, but I did go golfing. So,
Okay.
but I will say this though:
I,
I was on the beach though when I golfed.
okay, that counts.
Because I went into the sand traps a lot.
My parents are my parents are in their early 60s. They're not retired yet, but they're starting to think about it and thinking
Mm-hmm.
about like where they might want to retire to. And they were seriously considering retiring to Hawaii for a
I
while.
would.
I'm not sure how on the table that still is,
Mm-hmm.
but specifically like not Oahu. They were thinking about retiring to Kauai, like one of
Okay.
the other islands. I kind of want them to do it just so I could go visit them
I don't blame you.
and post a selfie that just says Kawhi Leonard. Is that is that funny? I think it's pretty funny.
I think it's more of a groan.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Even Bill agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Love you,
so
Bill.
I mean, all Connor did this turn was he got the projection out, and he started to draw. So he gets up to 12 cards in his hand.
You got the beach and
Yeah,
the
he did,
docking
and
bed.
again, he
Yeah.
got the beach out. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Could
yeah,
have waited
you're.
and just gone to the beach. But I don't know. Like it'll be interesting to see. Um,
I
as
mean,
if
he loses Bodhi, so I mean that gives him 1 card in his lost pile to possibly put out a play.
yep.
Yeah, and Connor gets out battle plan. So I mean, make him at least pay for 3 to drain for 2 at the Malkir site.
That's exactly what he's gonna do. One of the interesting things is in this matchup is I think the only ways No Idea has to flip Hunt down back are I think Luke, maybe Ezra, and killing Vader.
No, no. So you don't. So if you kill Vader, you actually don't flip him back. It has to be a Jedi
Oh,
or a Padawan,
yeah.
and
So
Ezra
Luke,
Ezra's pretty much it,
yeah, or Luke.
or Luke.
Like if you're playing Space Luke, then you have to keep him on the ground,
Well,
and
I
nobody
mean,
wants to do that.
well, no, because yeah, I mean, I think Connor definitely wants to get Menace Fades in effect if he has it in the deck. I don't know if he does.
And but Hunt Down shutting down the drain bonus at the beach also might be kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely a different game than Hunt Down Non-V.
Yeah, and I know that Connor is pretty familiar with that matchup because he does play Hunt Down Non V a lot. I don't know how familiar he is with this matchup, so we'll see. But he is
Yeah,
flipped
I'm
now.
not familiar anybody is with this matchup at this point, but
True.
so it looks like Connor's gonna flip Panthev and Corrin. And is he just gonna start? Is he gonna deploy something else?
I mean, he has to have some sort of. So I'm not going to spoil some of the cards in the deck. Him and I, he's playing a list that I liked. I played at Texas Infinity Worlds, but he probably tweaked it a little bit, obviously. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, one of the more popular or one of the more important cards that he's going to have is Antilles Maneuver.
Okay, so he's just gonna Ant-Man dudes onto the Tantive.
Well, I think that, and I think he's not a lot of. I mean, he might have a barrier, and because I mean, the only real starship that I've seen in Hunt Down B is the Emperor's shuttle. So as long as you can barrier the shuttle, you should be fine for a turn.
Yeah,
And then
no,
you just
I'm not. I
load it
wasn't
up.
worried about space. Because, yeah. So Leia and Galen and are gonna join Corn on the ground.
And there's Blount down. So I mean, and here comes an evac control. So I mean that him drawing up that first turn actually worked out really nice for him.
That was a really nice turn too by Connor.
Mm-hmm. And he's got 3 more dudes on that evac control. So if anybody else is wants to see some of the games that are being shown, I know. Let me check the multi-tab really quick.
Looks like
Yeah, Chris Goglin is still streaming. He might have to drop out here soon. He's currently streaming DDM and Catwall, I believe.
that's what it looks like. And as of right now, there's nobody else
Yeah, it's just the 3 of us.
streaming.
I'm not sure. I mean, okay. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not really up to speed on the standings, but I know earlier Thomas said that Paul Myers, Matt Lutz, Bastion, and see if I can go back in the chat. I know there was 4 people who made it from the first heat into day 2, essentially.
Yeah. Bastion is in, Zimowit is in, Matt Lutz is in, Paul Myers is in. Those 4 are definitely in.
Okay, yeah.
And then you've got a whole bunch of 3 and 2 players that need to win this last round in order to get in.
Yeah, how about that Justin Desai Sam Tashimi game last round? That was a grind.
That yeah, I those were some doom stacks.
Okay, so we've moved on to.
All right.
You know what?
And it looks like So it looks like Sam just drew cards on his. No, never mind. Sam is taking his third turn right now. So it looks like Sam declined drain on his third turn.
He
Am I
yeah
seeing?
he did not
He's in
drain.
his deployment and he hasn't used
Yeah,
any force. So he must have some dudes that he wants to deploy.
yeah. I will say this: if you're Connor, why not deploy or why not put out the professor just in case? Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
The Menace Fades canceled the bonus, so
oh, that's true. Yeah, so it's just a drain, or it's a drain of 0.
yeah.
Whenever. Yeah, good point.
Thank you, Bob. It's been a long day for me, and I still got 3 games to go.
Oof. So we see the 7th sister.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to cancel Galen's game text. Interesting that he chose Galen. Like, okay, I mean that makes sense. So because it's an all Imperial deck, if both players only draw one, you could switch the numbers. So,
Yeah,
but
and I think I'm not clear on the rules on how switching numbers works. Does that get around evac? Like, can you do that even if you
yeah,
evac
yeah, because
destinies?
it doesn't modify or cancel them. So yeah.
That's pretty
Okay.
nuts. Yeah,
Now the
so
ninth
like
sister
Lightsaber's
comes
gonna
down.
draw like a
So,
2,
uh,
right?
okay, with good thing that Connor has the Corn Horn out because with that, uh, what the ninth sister, his destiny would be 0.
Hmm.
So okay, there's an Antilles maneuver. So he's going to deploy a character to the starship. Not so much a big fan of that though.
My guess would be Torin Far.
Hey, I mean, I get the
Yeah, I
Torn
don't
Far's
think that matters in this
or
match.
okay, that's Vandalay. Yeah, Torn
Oh
Far's
yeah,
over here on the
that
evac
makes sense.
control.
Oh, she's on the evac control. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even see that. It's an interesting place for her to be. But I don't think she comes into play in this matchup. The space isn't going to be that important. I don't think. But getting Willard is certainly not bad. And similarly, I don't know that the Dark Jedi lightsaber is going to do a ton in this game. You're going to see light side canceling a lot of weapon destinies, and then if you run away, you cancel the force drain bonus with Menace Fades.
Well, I mean, at this point, he can't really run away because of the data vault. Yeah, light set while upon occupies Stardust and any characters on may not move. So You,
No. I just mean like long term.
oh,
I
okay.
don't.
I mean, well, you could move the Stardust to a character that you know you're going to forfeit, and then put it back, and then run away, and then just start doing the Drain of 2 at the beach. But, uh, okay, draws a 5 for Destiny. So I mean, both players are only drawing 1 Destiny,
Yeah.
and and because did he lose a card for Galen, or did it
Oh
was it?
well, no. He canceled Galen's text.
Let me see. Yeah, Galen Zerso's text canceled. So
Can't switch numbers.
yeah, you can't switch number. I think
He did.
if you're Connor, you would have let the you wouldn't have done the cancel. You would have lost the force. So that way you switch the numbers. But he did just retrieve with his effect. So he did draw because he drew Ezra.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's 7 is the magic number in this battle. You're losing 2 guys.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Darkseid's losing 1, so still.
They're losing 1, and you just got a dude off of evac,
Exactly.
and
And
you got 6 more cards in hand, and it's no idea. So 4 of them are probably characters.
mm-hmm. Let me see. He lost.
But we'll see.
Oh, okay. So he loses Leia to put Leia back into the use pile, but he
Um,
can't because of cold feet.
Interesting.
So good
Seems
play
pretty
there.
good.
Yeah. Trying to see who he took off of for evac. He took Baze off. So
The other thing is the card that Connor drew for Destiny was Ezra.
mm-hmm.
So at the very least, he knows where Ezra is.
I mean, I don't
We'll
think.
see if that we'll see if that comes up in the next couple of turns, but that could
Yeah.
potentially flip Hunt down back.
True. That's a good point. Okay, he'll use.
Because he is a battle.
But did he lose? I mean,
So,
Ezra should have been on his.
yeah, I think that's the 1 card in his use
No, because
pile.
he just put a card back. So I'm looking.
Yeah, because
It's on his turn. It's on his turn.
Yeah.
That so. Okay.
But it was in his deck somewhere.
Yeah.
I haven't been keeping track, but if Stubley wants to know where Ezra is, he has the means to know where Ezra is.
Mm-hmm. And he's already lost Bodhi. Okay, so here comes Baze.
Yep.
And Saw. So probably going to see the sister die here in the battle.
I would think so.
And Jin coming down too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't hate the play of the non-undercover Jin.
Yeah, neither do I.
Just as like another body, like just as another body, and then she's forfeit fodder, and when you forfeit her, you get to look at their hand. What's not to like?
Okay, so he draws a Shirut for battle for weapon destiny. Let's see if he's going to retrieve one.
He's gonna retrieve Galen here.
Yeah. So I mean, he's retrieving cards, which is good.
Well, and it's interesting that that Sam is choosing to not even swing. Like he's not even going to make the attempt.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Well, we don't know
Well, he
because
knows he knows that Connor's going to cancel it with his objective, but like you still do that.
Yeah,
you still make.
Okay, so he is going to attempt to fire.
Play.
Yeah, so he is gonna fire. And he places Leia out of play. So
Wait, what did he? Oh, he drew the destiny for Baze. Okay, I thought
yeah,
that was his battle destiny, and I was confused.
all good.
So yeah,
Okay,
all
he
right,
takes off another
we're
character
all fine
with
here
tired. How are you?
now. Also tired.
Okay, so he does take another character off of the evac control. He takes the Torn far off. Uh,
Mhm.
I wonder if Connor is playing a second evac control. I know some lists do. I know I did. And mine, no
Yeah,
idea the
this
last time I
does
played it.
seem
But
like a lot of cards. It seems like a lot of you don't want to you don't necessarily want to burn 2/3 of your evac control on turn 3,
yeah, but he does want the characters. That's the problem.
especially when yeah, you just want the characters and
And Torn far is pretty good.
yeah.
So
Well,
there's
Torn
Ezra.
Fair's
Ezra
good, but
again. He draws Ezra again for Battle Destiny. I
nice.
mean, the sister is immune. She is immune less than 4.
Not at the vault, she's not.
Oh, that's true. And he draws a 6 for Destiny. So who do you lose if you're? Oh, it's a 7 because of the objective. So
Yep.
I don't know who you lose. Like you could. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was just a 6, you could have lost Saw.
Yeah.
But now you have to lose 2 characters.
Yeah. Not terrific.
So he does lose the Jin.
Yep. And he's gonna look at his hand now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably based on the information you get by looking at his hand, that probably informs like what other dude you want to forfeit.
And he loses Corn Horn. So that tells him that he doesn't have that 9th sister in his hand, so he doesn't have to worry about losing his battle destiny. Okay, so there goes the 9th sister, and he loses a 7th sister off the reserve deck and a You Are Beaten as well.
Yep.
So I don't think you can move out of the data vault yet. I think you have to just sit there for another turn.
I would agree. I think when you go to the beach, you want to go there with a sizable stack.
I mean, he already has 2 Sorry?
Although, yeah, well, no, I'm just thinking that if the drain bonuses are canceled by Hunt Down, you didn't care about going to the beach.
True. That's a good
Why
point.
not just stay in the vault? They're both just going to be drains for 1. I mean, I know it's a power bonus at the beach, but shutting down their immunity completely seems better.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you can avoid,
that's a really good point.
As long as you can avoid, like, you obviously don't want them draining you for 2 at the beach either. But like, if you can find a second projection and stick it there, maybe you just don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time, he's also got the hot defensive perimeter where you can go down, drain for 2.
Yeah.
So.
Just win with Menace Fades.
Yeah, as long as Menace Fades is in effect, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it stays active.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. Like, as long as you're staying at the vault, it's not that hard to keep Menace active because there's no immunity.
I mean, and the thing is, we saw Sam lose a saber. So, what are the odds that he has another built-in or another weapon like the saber? We saw him play the You Are Beaten, so you got to think he's at least playing Mara with her saber.
Yeah. Yeah, I think probably in EPP Mara, there might be a second Dark Jedi lightsaber in the deck.
Yeah,
although that's an extremely maybe. But I mean, it's still early, still plenty of time for this game to go any number of different ways. But I think if they're just going to keep trading at the vault,
I think
it's
that
just going to be
benefits.
like
I was
it benefits Conor for sure.
exactly.
Like
Mm-hmm.
because Sam's damage is completely shut down right now as long as Menace
Mm-hmm.
Fade stays in effect. And so if it's like, okay, I drain for 1 and ping for 1, and then you do 0, and then we
Yeah.
trade some dudes. And then I drain for 1 and ping for 1, and you do 0.
Okay. So
After 3 or 4 turns of
drops the Grand Inquisitor. I think if you're Connor, you lose a card here because you want Saw's game
hatred on.
text in effect here.
Yeah.
I mean, the attrition's really, really good.
Well, I don't know
I mean,
because
okay,
attrition doesn't matter because there's no immunity. So as long as you're doing 1
that's
attrition,
true.
you're fine.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Now
right.
there's a second beat, so maybe not. But
Well, I mean, you have Baze's gun. If you can shoot men, if you can shoot the men, even if you can shoot him when you sacrifice the Baze, as long as you get men
yeah,
off the table here, you don't care.
yeah, I think that I mean, drawing a 4 for the gun is pretty
Oh,
tall
okay,
order
interesting.
for
Day long, remember,
no idea.
all immunity
My
attrition. I don't like this. I mean, you can lose the one, or no, you put the card back in because yeah, it's not in play. So
yeah, no,
you just put it yeah.
a day long remembered and the light side. I think it's down with the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two of my favorite virtual cards. And
Really.
I so rarely find an opportunity to actually put them into competitive decks,
Mm-hmm.
but I just love the way they work. And it's just like, if you're
Yeah.
not relying on permanent weapons or immunity to attrition that much, you
Yeah.
get to do this, make them lose a force or two, and then stack a 6 on your use pile at the end of the turn.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a
And then
yeah.
you try it. Yeah. It's so much fun. Like, I don't necessarily know that it's the best card for this deck.
I kind of think it
Because
makes
like
sense because you're not playing with a lot of EPPs. So
you're not playing with a lot of EPPs, but you are playing with a lot of immunity to attrition. Now that immunity to attrition doesn't really matter in the
true.
data vault, but
But
so
now
like great opportunity to
Vader
play
has.
the card. But like,
I was gonna say Vader
yeah,
has a nice little target on him now
so
because now his immunity to attrition. I mean, if that thing is still out there, he's immune only less
yeah,
than
it's
what
only
3.
yeah, so I would say there's very little chance that'll still be there on Connor's turn. I
Yeah.
think the purpose of playing for the card, think of it like an interrupt. You're just like, okay, for the rest of this
Yeah.
turn, you're losing force whenever you lose a battle. And then at the end of the turn, I'm just going to take this effect, put it
Mm-hmm.
on top of my use pile, recirculate, and now I'm tracking a 6.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool thing to do. And like I really like the idea of the light side one in like a Diplo deck.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play a day long remembered in in my kind of scum. Decks like that where like you've just got a lot of dudes. You're not really reliant on permanent weapons or immunity,
Mm. Okay, that makes sense.
and you have a deck where your destiny isn't good. So it's
Uh,
hey, I'm going to play. I'm
so
going to
important
do
note.
stuff. I'm going to stack the 6 and
Yeah. So important note. Connor just lost his Ezra.
that's well, yeah, doesn't seem great.
No,
Presumably he's got a Luke. I don't know which Luke it is, but
I think he's got the space Luke.
yeah, it's probably the most likely. But he's
Yeah.
going to get totally cleared out of the vault now.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Sam needed to do with that battle.
Yeah. So let me see. What was it? What caused it? So if I don't, yeah, that one force loss from a day long remember
Yeah.
caused the Ezra to go away.
And now Vader's scooting back to the castle because he's
Mm-hmm.
not draining at the Malachor site anyway.
Yeah.
Yep, and now a day-long remember is going to go used. So it'll be the 14th card from the bottom. And Sam should be able to track that back to the top. Now, in Hunt Down Virtual, I don't know that you necessarily care about
No.
a 6 that you can track because, like, your Destiny's really good.
Yeah.
I really like that mechanic, like a Scum deck or a Diplo deck or just something with really bad Destinies.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Throwing
Okay, so just had a little bit of an issue with Discord as usual. God, I don't know what is Discord's problem today. But okay. Can you hear me, Lenny? Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay. So we're still good. Oh, so that is Colonel Kraken, not to be confused with
Non-virtual.
non-virtual.
I'm a big fan of non-virtual Kraken.
Well, he's good against anti SP.
Yeah. He's another one of those cards where, like, if General Kraken or General Smith,
Mm-hmm.
he were just on a different card, Colonel Kraken might see some play, like, for meta reasons.
Yeah.
Just 'cause it's a really cool, like, whenever they deploy a spy or a scout anywhere on that planet, lose force.
To answer that question, I'm currently unemployed. And I am not looking to get a job right now because I'm going to be moving in maybe 3 months, 3 to 4 months. So, and I'm actually a disabled veteran, so okay. So there's Galen Urso. I mean, I don't understand going down to the beach there because you said, like you said earlier, his drain bonuses are canceled.
Yeah. Well, is it?
Okay, I mean
It's
this
only.
like
Oh,
I mean,
just well, Vader armed with a lightsaber, no matter where he is. So even though he's sitting at the castle, the drain bonuses are still canceled.
well, I meant for Conor because he's on the 7th side.
Yeah, no. I mean the 7th side of Hunt Down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just says while Vader armed with a lightsaber, opponents
Yeah.
force drain bonuses. So even though Vader's not at a battleground, he's just sitting at the castle. Bonuses are still canceled.
And I mean,
I do still understand going to the beach there. It's a nice power bonus for all your spies, and it is also keeping Darkseid off of the drain of 2.
True.
Which, like, it makes sense to go there as long as you can defend it.
Okay, so we now move to Sam's turn. He's going to be right back. So looking right now, he's got 8 cards in hand. He's going to be activating 11. I don't like his possibility of just coming down with like one character here. I think
I agree. I think you need at least a couple.
Yeah, he needs to come down with a couple. And the thing is, him activating only 11. What I like his chances of like what I think he should do though is go down to the defensive perimeter. I mean, or not worry about the beach. I mean, you want to start.
I don't know. You're looking at drains of 1 and 1 and a ping of 1.
Actually, no, drain. I'm going to say this: like, if he doesn't come down, Conor, if as long as there's a character there, if he's got 2 characters there, he can use the objective to move during the control phase. and it would be drains of
Yeah.
1, 1, 1, and then the ping 1, so 4 damage. So I think I can see what you're saying. I think the best option for Sam is to move the Vader to Scarif, or move at least get the Vader. Him
Well,
doing. Go ahead.
well, here's what I was going to say is that no idea is threatening, drains of 1 and 1, ping of 1, possibly do the objective thing and scoot a guy over and
Mm-hmm.
then consolidate and get another drain in, but that requires getting rid of a dude from your lost pile, and you can only do that so many times. But, like, you're looking at 3 to 4 damage. There's no way right now for Darkseid to do 3 to 4 damage and match that pace at defensive perimeter and the Malachor site. Like, you just can't, like, because Menace Fades is going to be in effect if you do that.
Yeah.
But you're
Bob.
looking at doing damage. So
Bob.
you need to fight on Scarif. Like, there's
Yeah.
no other way for Dark to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they have just like a cheek in the up their sleeve or something.
And I will say this, like, the Jin play, losing the Jin and looking at his hand, told Conor that he doesn't have any, like, space to come down. So that's why he was able to, like, put some people onto the Tantive and then just shuttle them down. So, I mean, that's good. I mean,
yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, with Blunt and Willard, like, you're going to shuttle them down, they have to go to the beach or the docking bay because the data vault's interior. So that it makes sense to move everybody out to the beach in that case.
Yeah. Okay, so here comes the Grand Inquisitor now.
Yep.
It's going to blank Galen's game text. Okay, that's smart. And again, I think if you're Conor, you have to take the force loss here, though, because you want to be able to switch.
Yep, and he's going to let Galen's game text be canceled.
I don't like that. You have to be able to switch because you know his total battle destiny is going to be, well, regardless, his total battle destiny is going to be nice. So, ooh. And Tarkin coming down, so now he's got an extra battle destiny. There's nothing on the evac control, so.
Yeah, I mean, no weapons, though.
Now.
So it depends on what those destinies are.
It's going to be high.
You do have, I mean, Insurrect. Yeah, well, it's going to be high, but the forfeits are also going to be high.
True.
I think it's still very possible that Conor only loses 2 dudes from this.
Yeah.
And clears Tarkin and is kind of okay.
Well, I mean, then Sam brings over Vader to the beach.
Yep.
And then what Conor does is, like I said, he just puts a character out of play, moves, drains for 1/1, and does a ping damage, so he still gets 3 damage in. Or okay,
yeah, like
look at this. I mean,
he's just gonna come over without battling. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm not sure I do either. I think he was favored in that battle if he had battled.
Yeah.
Plus, then he also had pretty sure he also had a another copy of the Grand Inquisitor on top of his lost pile.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you battle and win the battle, like, you're getting a guy back from enforcement. I know you're not because you're suspended right now.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the chat.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, I agree.
Darkseid Zuck is a Miss Hunter. Yeah,
play it.
That would be
can't
good.
play it. But you can't play
Yeah,
it.
that's true, and
that's the biggest problem.
Deck.
Like,
it would be a decent splashable card in a version without enforcement, but like I don't know.
Well, not even that. You can't play it because of the objective. I don't think. Can you?
Can you? Still.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. You can play any.
The objective only restricts characters.
Yeah, it's just a character. So,
So
Okay.
yeah, any space you want. Yeah, I just don't know if you want to. Zuckuss and Mist Hunter is a Destiny 1, and is it better to weigh down your deck with a bunch of low destinies when
Mm-hmm.
the whole of your deck is its high destiny,
Yeah,
or
I
is it
agree.
better to just face? Like it's a hard call to make.
Well, I mean, you don't punt pace. You don't punt space. I think
No,
like the only ship you can play though is the Palpatine shuttle.
yep, yeah, that one for sure. Um, I could I could see a build where like instead of the enforcement you play Power of the Hut and you just pull the space cruiser, maybe.
Interesting.
And then like you get like the new Thrawn, Mithran
Mm,
Rodo on there and maybe some other dudes. But yeah, I mean like the I think it's probably a better play for Hunt Down V to just not worry about space that much.
that's fair.
Um,
Okay, so we
you
just.
have you put the one Emperor shuttle in there, and then if you really need it, you assemble all the pieces and see what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor shuttle isn't going to surprise anybody in
No,
2020.
no.
It would have surprised people 3 4 years ago, but I think everybody's ready for it at this point.
Well, I mean, 3 4
And it's
years
just
ago. Oh, so Luke's coming down now. Interesting. Yeah, I like the idea of the Mara and ship because then you can put any Imperial on and you get 2 Destiny.
yeah, Mara and ship seems like a decent splashable option too.
Mm-hmm. And what's
But
interesting is, so he throws down Luke to Malakir because he knows what's in his hand. Like Sam hasn't drawn
yeah,
any cards this game.
yep. And there comes Cassian.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about putting Cassian over on Malachor.
Well, you keep.
I kind of want him on Scarif, but
No, I
if he
mean
keeps Luke alive, then
exactly, and
fine.
that's the important thing. Like I think the turn for Sam this next turn is you drain and then you draw some cards. You don't try
Yeah,
to battle. You just drain and draw cards. And that's if Connor doesn't move those 4 characters away. Okay, but he is going to move away.
yeah,
So
like that's what he's gonna
yeah.
do. Yeah, I think still a good turn for Connor. I would have
Mm-hmm.
really liked to see a second projection for the beach, but certainly can't be mad about
No,
how this is going.
no. I mean, he is losing to. No, now both players are losing to Visage. So
Hmm.
that's good. Um, and like I said, as long as
Is he gonna?
and I mean, Sam can retrieve, but he needs to put cards on the table to retrieve. That's at this point.
Yeah, with you mean with enforcement?
Mm-hmm.
With no idea at 3 battlegrounds, it's effectively impossible
Yeah.
for a main stack to retrieve with enforcement. I think that's why it's such a better card in like IE or ROPS or
Mm-hmm.
something that can cover like 3 or 4 battlegrounds pretty easily. But
Yeah.
like you've already got 3 good characters committed to a site. You've lost a couple others.
Mm-hmm.
Like on and they're also only activating 11, so you don't really have the
Yeah.
force to go. Okay, Inquisitor at one site, and then Inquisitor at another site, and then
Yeah. You can't.
Inquisitor at a third site, and then battle. Like you don't have the force for that, or the cards in hand, because I'm sure Honor doesn't deploy Luke if he knows Sam has 3 Inquisitors in hand. I mean, it's
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
not.
And that's what I'm saying. Like this at this point though, all Sam can do is drain, and he needs to draw cards. So that way now Conor has to play even more to protect his characters that are on the ground. And he has to think about, okay, Sam now has cards in hand. Does he run any space? Because I don't think Sam has given up a verify this game. Okay, so there goes a Hear Me Baby and Han chewing the Falcon. The Hear Me Baby from his use pile, and Han chewing the Falcon from the reserve deck. So
I don't think you're mad about losing the Honshu and the Falcon.
now at this point, I mean,
God, it's like a card you're going to need in this matchup, and it's low destiny, and you don't get to retrieve with your effect, and get rid of it.
now this I don't like. I know it's getting a 0 out of the deck, but
yeah, unless he knows there's not one in there.
Yeah.
He just wants to check his deck.
Yeah.
Not crazy about that.
Hey, Bill, would you mind telling me what some of the elimination games are? And because I think Chris is still streaming. Yeah, Chris is still streaming, so he's got the DDM game.
Here, I'll give you. This is a list of the players who need to win in
Chris
this
is
last
not
game.
Streaming. Okay.
Tom Kelly, Timo Dussel, Darren Mallins, Quirin Fergut, James Martin, Ricard Erickson, Sean Mackin, David DeStefanis, Mason Gilligan,
wow. So there's a
Hugh
few.
Copson. All those guys are 3-2 after 5 games, so they are in with a win.
Okay, so Martin advanced. So
sure, some of them are playing each other, but
let's check out. No, it looks like it's Paul Myers. Let's check out this one. Okay, it looks like Tom advanced as well. Okay, so we got Mason and Timo.
What are the usernames there?
Dylan and Jodo.
Dylan and okay, I see. So Mason and Timo. So both of these players are 3-2. Whoever wins is going to day 2.
And it looks like Jodo is leading right now. I mean, unfortunately for Timo, he's not flipped. And we just saw a battle at Tatooine end. Yeah, I mean, with there's only one system out, it's going to be hard for Timo to flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Well, no. So the reason he's so if you look, he's got the Falcon. So
yeah,
it could be just the speed. So he's already delivered the plans. So I'm thinking it's just the speed. Diplo.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, you see the plans have been delivered.
Mm-hmm. But notice because
yeah, no, I've seen some Diplo builds that like rely on the Falcon to just fly over to Alderaan, deliver the plans, fly back, and they forego the Senator Mon Mothma.
Mm-hmm.
Which look, without the Falcon, you would ordinarily be deploying Senator Mon Mothma on turn 1, and I get why people do it. and I've seen good builds of it, but I'm not personally, as someone who plays a lot of Diplo, I'm not wild about that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And you know what? I'm
for
going to
two,
say I agree because this is what
for
happens.
really for two reasons. Yeah, like one reason is you really, really want that second battleground system. You want Chandrilla. And if not Chandrilla, you want some other second battleground
Mm-hmm.
system because you need to be able to control in order to flip.
Yeah.
And if you only have Alderaan out there, then you're basically locking yourself into, okay, I have to kick them off Tatooine in order to flip my objective.
Yeah.
And they know that that's what you have to do, and they're going to stack it really, really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be tough to do. The second reason is because Senator Mon Mothma is like the best card in the deck
Yeah, and I
for
mean
her.
the only problem
Except,
is it really slowed down the deck with her deploy cost being increased after the
for
errata.
sure.
So,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I think that I like the second battleground, and I like having
mm-hmm.
Mon Mothma in effect for the card advantage more than I like getting to deliver the plans on turn one.
Exactly, and I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
Like I'll do just like the old school slow turtley Diplo where like I move the Tantive over to Chandrilla turn one, pass the turn, and then turn two get like the Bright Hope or something and ship
Yeah.
dock, and like I just think it's such a sturdier, more reliable setup, even if it's like a turn slower, and then you're just better
Mm-hmm.
off for the rest of the
Agreed.
game because you can actually stay flipped. And but we'll see how this build works out for Dylan.
Yeah, I mean it's looking a little rough right now. I mean because again the biggest problem right now is he doesn't have any ability to draw Destiny up in space. He's limited in space because Guri's there. So he needs to flip to even try and crack the immunity and clear some guys, and he
Well,
doesn't
he
have the
does have
ability to flip.
He does have an 8 card hand, and in
Mm-hmm.
Diplo, an 8 card hand is like a 20 card hand in any other deck.
True.
Just because usually, like most of the games I play with Diplo, I've got like a 3 card hand at any given time. So
Mm-hmm.
if you've got 8, you can do a lot. You can probably do a lot.
Yeah.
We'll see, like if he backs up space or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
he does have celebration going. He's retrieving 4, so
Yeah.
I don't hate the position he's in. Um,
It's rough though.
you know, I,
It's kind of
I
rough.
think you ideally want to be able to clear either the audience chamber or the cantina. More
Mm-hmm.
likely the cantina, but if you can do that and keep celebration going and back up space,
Yeah.
I don't hate this position for Diplo at all. Or at least I wouldn't if I were flipped.
Yeah. But that's the biggest problem. He's just
Now,
not
yeah,
flipped.
and you're not, because you're like, I mean, you've got strike planning.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make a ton of sense to me that like you would play Diplo, you would start strike planning, and not even get Mon Mothma into your hand, even if you don't want to deploy her until turn two
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, why would you not play that character? She's just way too good in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
You just, oh, I drew a character for Destiny. Oh, too bad. It's in my hand now. It's just.
Okay. See, now this I don't mind as much because Cassian's down. Um, now, I mean,
No,
Mason though is drawing two Destiny up in space. That's
yeah.
the biggest problem.
There's
And
that.
I would have rather had Cassian on the Tantive, so at least you can still. I mean, you still forfeit the Falcon if you need to, and you're still getting the Destiny. So this I do
Yeah.
like though him battling at the Cantina.
But it's also the Ponda Baba Woof combination up in space.
Yeah,
So you're dealing with a lot of attrition.
true. That's a good
I
point.
think it's going to take.
I
So,
just don't
yeah.
I just don't know how that's gonna
like Cassian's going to cancel one of the battle destinies, but then he's going to draw the other one plus the attrition destiny plus
Yeah.
2, and you're going to end up losing a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really would have liked to see another guy or two up in space, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
He could move one of those two characters that are available on
Yeah,
outside,
he could shuttle some guys up.
but
I
I don't
almost
know.
at the beginning of the turn. At the beginning of the turn, after he did his celebration, he Cantina shuffled Leia into the Cantina.
That was for the additional retrieval, but
In one,
draws a 1 for Battle Destiny. It's not going to really do much. If you're the dark side player, you lose the Afra because she's not really doing anything else. I mean,
yeah.
And there's a 1 for Mason. I mean, now you lose Chewie, and Leia's sitting there all by herself. Oh, that's right. He doesn't have to lose anybody. They're all immune because of the objective. Yeah. Wow. I agree. That was a bad battle to battle into. Oh, okay. So he's got old Ben. Okay.
I mean, okay, so now he's in exactly the same position he would have been in had he just not battled, except that he lost his old Ben.
Well, no, but he did retrieve 1.
That doesn't make anything. Okay, so he traded his old Ben for retrieving a Force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd much rather have the old Ben in hand.
I agree.
I've in my own builds of Diplo, I've toyed with, because I've been playing Chewbacca Protector for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that actually getting the deploy -3 with Leia is so rare.
Yeah.
Like, it's so rare that I have those two characters in that order, and that I happen to want to put them at the same location. That I started thinking about playing the new Chewbacca Virtual in Diplo. Just because he comes down as react for 3 Force, and that just seems like it could be better than Protector for 5.
Yeah. So an update for everybody. It looked like Rickard advanced, so he got the 4 and 2. So that's 7 players to advance.
Yeah, Vikram, that is a good point. I mean, he could have deployed Mon Mothma and just lost her before we started watching, but if that's the case, then why isn't Chandrila on the table?
Mm-hmm. It looks like James Martin. We have 7 players who advanced into next Saturday. Well, I mean, you won't get the attrition if he cancels the Battle Destiny with Cassian. However, you're getting 2 Destiny. Yeah, he's getting 2 Destiny there. So
he's only canceling one of them.
Yeah.
Because the Stinger is adding a second.
Mm-hmm. And you can't evac control.
I mean, if you evac control, then he's only drawing 1, but you can't cancel it.
Yeah.
Either way,
he just pointed out. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the more and more I look at this board setup, as well as the fact that Jodo is retrieving. Yeah, it's just not looking good for Dylan.
Well, I mean, both players are retrieving a lot. It's just Jodo is going to keep retrieving indefinitely,
Yeah.
and Dylan is going to keep retrieving until he gets kicked out of space, which seems imminent.
Well, I mean,
And
okay, so
that's the
he's gonna,
difference
yeah,
to
it
me.
looks like he's gonna try and deploy a character to with Antilles maneuver. So he gets out Ravis.
Okay, that helped.
Yeah, I mean now
Um,
the Tanif is immune, but you've said it. Like there's so much immune, like there's so much destiny to attrition up in space right now.
yeah. Well, I mean, the
Oh,
Destinies in CCT are pretty bad.
yeah,
Yeah, Forlom.
yeah, that's not going to be good.
That's
Well, I mean, he already used Chewie's game text.
oh, whose game text did he cancel? I
Dengar.
missed that part. Presumably Dungar, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Greedo going up in
So,
space. I mean, so you retrieve
so
one.
you're gonna cancel Leia's game text with Forlom,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And you're gonna retrieve,
depending on what you're doing,
and you're gonna
yeah, you're
battle
gonna
in both
retrieve.
locations. So you're battling in both locations. You're retrieving
Yep,
four forces turn.
yep.
It's
And
just
unless they draw,
yeah.
yeah, and you're probably not losing anything in this battle other than Forlom, because what are the odds that Diplo's going to draw at least a 4?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to be mean, but like it's a deck that has bad destinies.
Well, no, all of
Like
his
that's
characters is I believe all of his characters there are immune.
I don't think
Aliens.
Forlom
Oh,
is.
that's right. You're right. Aliens are
Only
immune,
alien.
and he
So,
gets an added another battle destiny. So
so he if he draws it well, he'd still need to draw really well in order to clear both characters, but I think he's got a good shot of at least
mm-hmm.
clearing Leia, which
Yeah,
probably just means Chewie runs away and Cantina shuffles out.
yeah. Now again, like you said, if he draws really high, I'd say if he draws
But
five, it
yeah,
like I don't know. Like it's going to be interesting to see what Dylan has loses at this battle because, like I said, he's going to lose a. He's going to lose. He's going to be bad up in space. Okay, so he uses
yeah,
rebel
I think
leadership there
it's also
to.
going to be interesting. Okay, the leadership helped because now at
Mm-hmm.
least you're probably, unless he draws amazing for a CCT deck, you're probably not losing both characters. Yep, and there's a 1, so you're
Yeah.
definitely probably just losing Chewie
Mm-hmm.
in
Now
this
you're just
battle.
losing Chewie,
Yeah,
and I think
4. Okay, so
so.
that's going to clear probably Chelly,
Yeah, I think
I
it's
would
Chelly.
guess. You don't, because you don't want to lose Dengar or Doctor E
Mm-hmm.
or Forlom or she's.
Yeah.
So there goes Chewie. But he retrieved 2, like 1-to-1 trade, and you retrieve 2 by doing it.
Yeah.
That's the bread and butter of scum decks.
And now you battle in space. You retrieve the Chelly. You retrieve the card that's under her, and you just whittle him down up in space.
Yeah. With he's either gonna have to.
No, he's just drawing. So I think you do. I
Yeah,
think you battle. I think you battle. You retrieve two. You whittle him slowly down in space. He's only got two cards in his hand. So what are the odds that he has like two characters to throw down there that actually can do something in space? I mean,
Yeah,
you make him
I
take
don't know.
you make him take the card off of the evac control. Oh, and it just cancels the celebration. So
Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew where that masterful move was.
true.
Didn't want to battle because he knew he was going to draw into it.
But I mean,
That would make sense.
so he drew. Okay, that I can understand because then he wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to battle there
Because he wasn't
and
gonna
retrieve two.
wasn't
Yeah,
gonna clear him entirely.
what's this card over
He,
here?
he was gonna make a
Security
chunk out of
version.
a bunch of stuff. But he wasn't gonna clear them all together.
Yeah, but yeah, getting rid of that
And if you
celebration
clear
was
'em all
pretty
together,
good.
yeah, getting rid of the celebration was key. Because now there's no more retrieval, and
I mean, he still has the walkling. So he could,
okay, he
yeah,
could
he
walk
can
it.
retrieve. You can retrieve the celebration with the walkling. I actually think what he should have did was drew up
I
to
don't
the
understand. Sorry, I don't understand why you play coward there.
just to recycle the 5. What other shield are you going
Right,
to
but
play?
like, I mean,
He still has the 1 free pool.
but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but no, I was going to say like I think if you're the dark side player, you draw the masterful, wait until it's your turn, play the masterful during your activation phase, drain for 2, so it's buried. He can't walkling it back.
Well, he could still like if he saves a force and you cancel it during your activate phase, you can just walkling it back immediately. Like it's not going to stop that.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in general, you want to try to bury it if you can at all, if at all possible. But maybe I'm sure he knows that and was probably just it's a cost benefit analysis between that versus having an extra turn of 3 retrieval. I think it might have made more sense to just get it off the table as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If he's gonna just walkling it back anyway, no matter when you cancel it, just get it off the table ASAP, and then you go without retrieval for a couple of turns.
So checking up on the one of the other elimination games, it looks like DDM is he's facing down Ketwall, who is Kieran, right?
Ketwall is that's Kieran.
Yeah. So check up on that one really quick. There's currently going a battle in the Naboo throne room. Kieran was able to get rid of the Lord Maul that was there. DDM's not flipped, so whereas Kieran is. Kieran has he's holding down 3 locations that he can drain for a lot. Now it is in his battle phase, so DDM can probably do something about that. But he's only got 2 cards in his hand, and looks like he's got a B2 droid on the droid rack. So okay, coming down with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's buried, so that's not good.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I just noticed I don't see IG-88's not on the table, so Joda's doing all of this without his force pile pools.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's still, it's the IG. I think is still stuck in his life force because he drew him for Destiny.
Yeah, you're right.
Turn. But no, I mean, CCT flip. You get the 7 side of that objective, which lets you pull scum. The fact that it lets you pull scum means that you get to play a different Jabba instead of the one that just pulls scum. So he's opting for my favorite Jabba, which is the one that lets you activate force whenever you drain, essentially.
Yeah.
Which can be huge in some games.
And gonna go.
Then from there, it's just a scum deck where instead of everybody being forfeit +2, everybody's just immune to attrition less than 4 instead.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty good. And if you get IG-88, that's huge. But I've definitely seen the deck win without him.
Yeah, it looks like Dylan ran into three CCTs today, so that right there is rough. Like I think he played a deck that was built to play against Hunt Down V, and he ran into three CCTs. But speaking of
Oof.
Hunt Down V, checking in on Conor versus Sam. We're right now in Sam's turn, and Conor currently has 16 life force. Sam has 14. Both players have 16 in their hand though. Conor still has the tentative at Scarif, and it's just a tentative at this point. So lone tentative is holding on. Conor does play. He is playing a second evac control, so that's pretty good. And Luke and Cassian are
You
still on
were
Malcor.
you were mentioning earlier when someone played Tarkin's Bounty that it was the best card in the game, and that's kind of how I feel seeing CCT Flip in action.
Like,
Because Boba Fett's Black Rifle is my one and only V card ever.
well,
And for the first couple of years of its existence, it was almost never seen, and it
mm-hmm.
was just kind of a fun cringe deck. And then, seemingly all of a sudden, it just got really good, and you see it all the time now. It
Despair.
warms the cockles.
Just the change to despair
Yeah,
was huge.
the change to despair helped a lot. I yelped when I saw that on the playtest list for whatever set that came out in. Like, ooh, they're making it better. But,
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. What's funny? Yeah, Tarkin's Bounty is probably one of the better cards, and it's a
yeah.
really well card. My other one doesn't see any play.
What's that one?
The VX4 ski speeder.
Oh yeah, I think that will. There's a good chance that that will see play when we have like a crate operations deck, which I'm
So
sure is coming at some.
never.
I want to. No, I want it. I need it. I need it. Let's get it going on the Salt Planet.
Okay, so we see a battle from Joda. Uh, this is gonna be bad because with
Yeah.
Cad there goes the immunity. So, and he can buff one of his aliens. Okay, so there's his dodge. So, I mean, he retrieved two, so that's a good. But
He's gonna dodge away to the dungeon. Just
at least he didn't lose the battle.
at least you didn't lose the battle, but just like instead of letting him drain two there, you
Mm-hmm.
instead let him retrieve two from battling.
Yeah.
And you lost one, and you lost the dodge, so you let him retrieve
Yep.
two in exchange for saving yourself one force.
So now, like I said, you battle in space.
Yeah.
Like you battle in space, you retrieve two, and
Yeah,
you just slowly whittle him down.
I don't really. I mean, maybe he's scared of the second Destiny from Bale. That's the only thing I could think of in
But I mean,
space.
like I said,
Like,
he's
who
only
cared?
yeah. You don't care because Guri's there.
Oh, that's true. Gary's there,
Yeah.
so yeah,
So
you
you're
can't even
only
do it.
you're doing two destiny. Your opponent's
Yeah,
doing one. If they even if you want to get down to one with evac control, like you turn off the cancel. So either way, you're doing one destiny.
yeah, you're
And
doing one Destiny plus Destiny to their one
so
Destiny,
you're
and
probably
it
getting
just.
rid of Bale and
Yeah, and he didn't battle again. He just drew
yeah,
cards.
I don't like that. You're making the game faster. And
Unless
the
you're
thing
really.
and here's a big problem. He's only got Jodo's only got 10 minutes left versus Dylan's
Ooh,
30 minutes.
yeah, that's a factor. I mean, I still like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you don't battle in
Mm-hmm.
that situation. Because like even if Diplo draws a 5,
You don't care.
you're losing. You're losing Hinthra. Who cares?
You lose Hinthra, yeah. As long
Or
as
the other dude he put on the. Okay, he put Greedo up there.
yeah.
He'll cover 4. So yeah, like if he draws a 4, you can just lose Greedo.
Mm-hmm.
5, you lose Hinthra. Like 6 doesn't matter because he's not going to draw a 6 and he's not flipped.
Yeah. I just don't
Like
get it. You battle
I just that I don't get at all.
because then you take him away from if you can get him out of space, you take away
If you
all
get if
those
you kick
ping
him
damage
out of
too.
space, that's the game.
Yeah.
If you kick him out of space, the game's over.
Exactly.
The game might be over even if you don't kick him out of space because Celebration's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Although he might be getting it back in the near future. We'll see.
I don't think he can. Like,
Can you walkling it? Or am I misremembering that?
I mean, the walking is out of play, so probably.
Right. Like if that's somewhere in his force pile, then he might be getting it. And then
But you don't care because
maybe
yeah, he did
is it
retrieve.
next turn?
He retrieved the Tatooine celebration. Um, I don't know why he just didn't use Obi-Wan's game text to get it back, because then it's in your
And
hand, and
he
then
also didn't grab the masterful move.
mm-hmm.
He grabbed the cold instead.
Yeah.
So even if it came back, it would probably just get canceled again. And so it may not even be worth it to try to get it back if you've
Yeah.
already committed to grabbing a different interrupt.
Okay, so now you have Solo down there, so the Falcon has some immunity. But again,
Yeah.
there's so much. This is why you should have battled. Okay, I don't like Luke going down to the audience chamber. This is bad.
Yeah, yeah, because Cad Bane's just going to cancel his immunity again.
Yeah.
Unless he
you
thinks.
can move the Obi-Wan in, but
Unless he thinks there's a card in his used pile that he can get with I Must Be Allowed to Speak that could help.
the celebration.
Yeah. Yeah, he did Wackling that back.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, okay, you put Obi-Wan back. You go with Obi-Wan back into the audience chamber. You throw celebration down. So
again, at this point, I don't think redeploying the celebration is the play because you didn't grab the masterful move combo.
mm-hmm.
So like you play this like you've had a couple of turns to find your celebration again and fish it back out of your life force. He's also had a couple of turns to do the same thing with his masterful move because
Jodo is going to time out. I'm not surprised. I will not be surprised if he times out, because the fact is he's down by 16 minutes and he's playing slow. But this game should have been over by like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think like that's 2 turns now where there should have been battles in space that really favored Darkseid, and he just didn't do it for whatever reason. And now I think it's going to be a lot closer in space. It's going to be a lot harder for him to kick him out.
And he didn't reinforce Luke.
No.
I mean, he could play. Okay, he can play the dodge to move Luke. So that makes sense. I mean, he has Solo out, so yeah.
Go play the dodge Solo. But, yeah. But even then, like you're still.
Okay, this I like.
You're still.
Actually, no. I do like this because you initiate the battle with Aura Singh first, If he plays the
Oh
dodge, then
yeah,
you battle against Luke.
yeah.
And there's so much
No,
power
I
there.
like this.
Yeah.
I just really don't get like for the light side logic of, oh, I'm going to deploy Luke there, and then if he battles, I'll just get the dodge out of my lost pile with Solo. Is like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, but he's also retrieving 2 from that battle, so you might as well
Mm-hmm.
just let him drain 2 and do something else with Luke.
And this, okay,
Um,
that's actually another good point. Dark Sides again has only 8.5 minutes left.
yeah. Oh yeah, no. If you're playing for time, and if you just
Like that's
if
the,
you're light side and you know that this game isn't really winnable,
you
you
just play
just
for
want to try
time.
to
You gotta force your
time.
opponent to take as much time as he can.
Yeah. Yep. And there's the
Yep, there's the
dodge.
dodge. Yeah.
He's probably.
Yeah, I don't think he even needed the dodge.
Oh, he dodged the weapon destiny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think he needed it. I mean, like you said, CCT's destiny is not
Well,
good.
he's not. Yeah. Wouldn't it
That
would have
wouldn't have hit.
been
Yeah.
yeah, a 3 and a oh no, yeah, 2 and a 3 wouldn't have hit. But you don't necessarily know that it's a 2 and a 3.
True.
I don't hate the dodge play. Keep Obi-Wan alive. As long as the battle
Potentially.
destiny's not a
Yeah.
5.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's up by 2 in power, so. Okay, so it's 11. Interesting. I
It's gonna
mean,
be a little.
Ara's immune.
She is immune, and you can lose 3 force to keep Obi-Wan on the table.
But
At a non-battleground, I'm not sure you care.
yeah.
It's late in the game. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm watching Conor versus Sam. Conor just overpowered a lone Vader at the beach, uh, causing 19 in battle damage.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, and Sam only has 9 cards or 2 cards left in his hand, so 11. That's going to be 11 force loss for unless he has the Gick. So I mean, this might be okay. He does have the Gick, so I was gonna say this might be the game, but yeah, he Sam did have the Gick. He's got so it's right now. Connor has 7 cards in life force, 3 in hand. Sam has 11 in life force, 1 in hand. So Sam only has 2 characters on the table, both at one of the 2 Malakir sites. Unfortunately, it's not the one that. And Connor has Luke still on the table, Cassian on the table. He's got the beach pretty much shored up, and he's got a lone Tantive hanging up at Scarif. So I mean, Connor was.
Looks like we've got a big overflow battle on Luke back here in the CCT Diplo game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if there's
I don't think there was a Hojix. I mean,
that's probably game. Or
there's a Hojix.
Of course there is.
We're speaking too soon, man.
Oh man.
So, and Jodo's down to 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes. Getting close.
Getting real close. And I think you moved the Aura Sing in front of Jin just to block that drain.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, then you only lose 2 cards to the drain. Your opponent's not going to initiate a battle up in space. Even if he initiates with Jin, I mean, you're probably immune.
Yeah, and that's another turn where Darkseid didn't battle in space when they
Yeah.
probably should have.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree, but him battling against Luke and getting rid of Luke is smart. Now, but again, the problem is
Yeah, for sure.
he's wasting like 20 seconds on all of his actions. Now, I'm not saying that. I mean, I don't know if he's playing slow. I don't know if he's playing like if it's just the internet connection or everything.
Oh,
But
yeah, if it's an internet connection issue, it's a shame.
yeah,
If you're playing slow on purpose, it's just not a good idea right now because you're the one who loses if you play slow.
and he loses, and
It's not
what
not
happens
like
is he needs
it's
to
not
win.
like a live tournament where you play slow and
Mm-hmm.
time runs out and you're ahead by 5. It's like no,
Yeah,
if your time runs out, you lose.
yeah, you lose, and you lose a spot in for next Saturday. Because
Exactly.
he's playing for a spot for next Saturday. You cannot. Oh, come on.
Drains of 3.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is the issue right now is he's so it's hurting. Like he is so rough on time.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's like when it was 9 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, he's fine. This is doable.
mm-hmm. But now it's
That
just
last turn. It went so slow.
yeah.
And
No,
now
I
it's
mean
just like
he's draining for
like
2 and 2. So that's
sure, no,
4.
he's in a better position
Yeah.
than Dylan is right now. He should win this game. It's
So
just taking him 5 minutes to play a turn
yeah. So it looks
that
like
isn't really accomplishing 5 minutes worth of good things.
yeah. So I will say this: it does look like Bastion is going to go undefeated.
Congrats
So
to him.
he is currently sitting up by 15. He's got 18 in life in hand. Crypto has 9 life in hand, and he's got better board position. So looks like I said, he looks like he's going to go 6-0. And we still have
And
one
the-
more, and we still have 2 more games from Heat 2 going on. One of them is the Conor and Sam game, and
There's the celebration. Sorry.
the other one is John versus Zach. So Do Attic versus Vinegar Pan. Okay.
So there's a celebration coming back out on Tatooine. The light side is actually going to initiate a battle here. Because he now has Rey and Solo up in space, but
It doesn't matter
Guri
because
prevents
Guri's there. Yeah,
it would have been 3 destinies without Guri, but
yeah.
the last card of evac.
So I mean, he can't use Cassian. Okay, that I don't like. Like if he blames Timo, no, he cannot blame. He needs that. I don't like. That is-
It's just an unfortunate situation all around. You never like to see players get salty with each other at the table. It does happen.
Yes.
And
And
without knowing more about these players or their internet connections, it's impossible to really weigh in on whose fault this is.
I'm going to say
it
this:
is
if Timo forfeits, that's not right.
No, I'm certainly not saying he should forfeit, but
Yeah.
now it's getting a little chippy in the chat.
Yeah. I
But where's all of Jodo's time going? Because he's
I
now
don't know.
down to he's 2 of his 6.5 minutes. He's down to 4.5 minutes, and it's not even his turn.
Yeah. So,
Like, how do you not just have the bring over the pass button?
mm-hmm. So here's a quick update.
Like,
Connor.
like in his internet connection, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
So Connor was able to emerge victorious. So good job, Connor. Connor's now 3-0, I believe.
Congrats, Conor. All right.
No, I don't agree with this. That's poor, insanely poor sportsmanship from Jodo. Like, you're the one who is down by 20 minutes. You have no right to complain about how your opponent is playing when you're the one who is down by 20 minutes. I don't understand a lot of the stuff he did. I understand. I mean,
I don't understand a lot of the things either of these players did, but
yeah.
Um, but certainly, and you just hate it. I hate when any game goes to time. Honestly, like ideally, this should be a game designed to be able to be finished in the allotted time. But in games like this, when both players are retreating a whole bunch, it's gonna happen. And if you're the one who's playing slow and you're down 20 minutes, sorry.
Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut.
Even though you for sure had an advantageous board state, you probably could have ended this 2-3 turns ago by just battling in space a couple of times, but you didn't. And
yeah.
There's
so much things that you could have done. You had this game could have been over for Jodo 3 or 4 turns ago, easily. Okay. The problem is.
There we see. Sorry to interrupt. The masterful move comes out again to cancel that celebration again.
Yeah, and again, like I agree, he should have grabbed the masterful move, but it happened. I mean, I don't get it. Yeah, and that's the thing is like you have so much time. You have more time to play on GEMP than you do on real life. So I don't understand it. Now I get that there are interruptions, so I understand that. I fully understand that. But what I don't understand is saying that it's another player's fault for you down by 21 minutes now.
Well, and so the one thing I can think of is like if it is an internet connection issue, and he's down by 20 minutes through no fault of his own that he's been playing as fast as he can the whole time. And I can understand, like, blaming the other player might not be the right move, but I can understand being a little salty in general about that.
Yeah, but you don't blame the other player.
Definitely is a game that
you do not blame the other player.
that he is winning and should win, but
yeah,
and if through no fault of his own he's just gonna lose because he's gonna time out because he has a bad internet connection, that really sucks.
Yeah,
but
I will say this though. Catwall, I love that you don't share a clock with Angelo. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Like, okay, he's drawing cards here. Each time he's drawing cards, it's eating up his clock. Like,
yeah. No, and like I've played, I've been in some OCS games when my time was getting pretty low, and it is possible to play through a turn really, really quickly. You just activate whatever you activate, drain here, like your mouse is hovering on the location, so as soon as they're done losing force you're clicking on the next one, and then you pass, and ends the turn, and you maybe take 20 seconds off your clock. Like if he had a good internet connection and was really committed to playing this quickly, he still has time to pull it out
easily.
It's just,
and you know what? And I'm going to say this,
given everything else that has happened, I'm not sure that that's a likely outcome.
Now I'm going to say this, like if he wins, and before it goes to time, okay, fine. it's going to be a moot point. But what I don't understand and what I don't like is blaming another player for playing the
You
game,
timing out.
playing their game.
Yeah, it's part of the
Like,
game.
it is 100%.
Dylan certainly hasn't been like it's not a shared clock like it is in a live tournament where
Yeah,
like you you don't get an advantage by slow playing on Gemp.
you actually hurt yourself.
You hurt yourself by slow playing.
Yeah,
And so, you're going to get mad at your opponent for going too fast? That doesn't make sense either.
no.
Like, it's just, that's the game.
Okay. And you know what? I like this move from Dylan. He's battling, he's retrieving, and he's got the all wings combo, so he's getting 2 destinies.
Yeah.
So now, if you notice, and here's a good point. If he's going to lose either the Guri in this battle, or he's going to lose those two characters on the Slave One. And if you lose the Guri, that's going to open up a second battle destiny.
Yep.
And
I think
yeah.
Yep.
And he just
he
just used Cassian.
Cassian is going to be burnt for the first time when Johto forced him to use Cassian like 3 or 4 turns ago.
Exactly. And now he's going to only lose the Cassian in this battle, so he's going to get 2 destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, he's either getting rid of
Guri and the Stinger.
He's either getting his second battle destiny back, or he's getting rid of the attrition destiny.
And there goes Guri.
Which are
yeah,
and then probably the Stinger here. Yeah.
And you had to keep those two characters there because now you're still draining for 4, but at the same time, he's got life force. He's got stuff to, and he's going to complain. I'm.
Yep.
So, Thomas, could you? Is this a playing in a win in your in game for Dylan as well?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Both of these players are 3 and 2.
Yeah. So
win it.
I have no problem with any of this from Dylan because if he wins,
especially
he's playing to win the game.
Especially because if there's another battle on Dylan's next turn, he's going to get 2 battle destinies up in space, and if his total is at least 8, he's clearing Slave 1, and then he might actually pull this out and win the game.
Yeah,
like it is still on the table for him. Like there's no rule that says you have to concede.
No,
it is a polite thing to do when you've clearly lost. There's absolutely no problem with playing out an extra couple of turns just to make sure.
None. 100% none.
Which also reminds me of a scene from The Queen's Gambit.
I need to watch that. I really do.
You really do. It's great.
Jodo's under a minute.
It's like when she's a little girl and the guy's teaching her how to play chess. She makes a mistake and he takes her queen, and then she goes to make her next move and he just reaches out, slaps her hand out of the way and says, "You resign now."
There you go, Ryan. Ryan Searson, you resign now. Same thing. He knew exactly what you were going to say.
And that's the thing that, like, when people talk about who's a fast player and who's a slow player, none of that matters on Gemp.
It doesn't.
It matters in live tournaments when, like, if you play too slow, your opponent might complain because they're just trying to run the clock out on this. Yeah. We both have an hour total. So if somebody's going too slow, they're trying to run the clock out. But, like, that's not the case on Gemp. You've got your own clock. And if you play slow, you're hurting no one but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you play fast, like who cares? You're playing fast.
And and here's another battle. I love all of what Dylan is doing. And
Yep, and here, yep, another battle in
he's going
space.
to another battle in space. He retrieves one. Yeah.
Yep. So Woof is going to cover 4. Panda Baba is going to cover 3. So if he draws at least an 8 for his
He
2
can't
battle
because
destiny,
he's only got one destiny.
oh, he's going to. Well, unless he's got another all wings.
No, he's got nothing in his.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, no, yeah, never mind. But yeah.
But he does draw 5, so he's going to
So
get rid of one.
That's killing both characters.
Yeah,
so.
it kills both characters. Now Jodo has to pay to drain.
Yep. So he. Could,
no, it's only going to kill the one because it's -1. Yeah.
Ah, good call.
And if you're, kill Woof. Yeah, you kill Woof, and then if you're Dylan, you lose the Tantive and you lose the Bale because they don't really matter.
Well, Jodo's going to lose the game in just a second here.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Like, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
good game.
The
so you know what? Good game on Timo. Well played game. Congrats on advancing to next Saturday. We still, I believe, have one game left that's going on. Yeah, we're gonna go. So let's bounce over to that game. Vinegar versus Deuce. So we're gonna go into this game and ignore what's going on in that game. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Let's go into something more.
If they want to get salty in the chat, that's their business.
So this is interesting because it's a Shadow Collective versus a QMC. So,
ooh, lots of aliens.
Yeah, a lot of aliens. Which I don't see a. You know, what card would be really good for this? Ancient Watering Hole. Yeah, exactly.
We've been talking about Watering Hole, but there is a celebration in a.
Yeah, celebration. Looks like there's a Rebel leadership and Hear Me Baby on the grabbers. So.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's. I want to say this is like a 12 card because the way that the starting effects and the grabber is.
It's got to be 12.
It looks like it
for Dark Side. Yeah, because I don't see any location that could be an SSA location.
Mm-hmm. It could have been the first light.
No, because you can pull that, so there's no reason to. Yeah. Also, you gotta. The way it's oriented, you've got a shield as the first thing after your objective.
Yeah, and that tells me right away that it's a 12-card start.
I guess it could have been. It maybe could have been like an Any Methods Necessary start.
Mm-hmm. But no, Bill actually puts out a good point. It could have been the West Gallery that's converted. So, good point, Bill.
Theoretically, but there's a shield on the table before any effects.
Yeah, and that's what tells me it.
So, but I would debate. So the debate, I think, is between 12 card or Any Methods Necessary, because you do have the Cloud City Prison out there, and it does make some amount of sense for a deck like this where you've got lots of bounty hunters and lots of weapons. I would probably lean toward 12 card when you see stuff like the Dagobah Cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure he's just like, that's the kind of thing you do when your strategy is to just go for volume of cards.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. So
otherwise, you don't usually play a ton of Twixes without pullers, but.
Okay, so Heat 1 is complete. So congratulations to everybody who has advanced to next Saturday. Well played by everybody. I'm glad to see. And it looks like, you know what? It looks like Kendall is actually streaming this game as well. So why don't we hop out, let him finish up this game, and then what we'll do is we'll come back for the game round, or is this game? This is game 4. So game 5.
All right.
So we'll be back at the start of Game 5. So we'll see everybody then.